Level 1, the winner. It's 11:43 p.m. You're standing inside a small convenience store holding a frozen dinner and an energy drink because you're too exhausted to cook again. Your back hurts, your feet hurt, and your bank account hurts most of all. You worked 62 hours this week, and somehow you're still behind. Rent is due in 9 days. Your credit card is nearly maxed out. Your car makes a noise every time you turn left, but mechanics cost money and ignoring problems is free, so you ignore it. Then you see the sign behind the counter. Lottery jackpot, $390 million. Normally, people like you laugh at stuff like that because dreaming is expensive when reality already costs too much. But tonight feels different, not hopeful, desperate, like life pushed you so far into a corner that even impossible things start sounding reasonable. You pull $2 from your wallet. Quick pick, you say quietly. The cashier prints the ticket without even looking at you because nobody notices broke people. You shove the ticket into your pocket and forget about it before you even get home. At 2 a.m., you fall asleep with the TV still on. The ticket sits on your kitchen counter beside unpaid bills and empty bottles. A tiny piece of paper worth nothing until it isn't. Level 2, the claimant. The lawyer's office smells expensive. Everything is glass, steel, and silence. You sit there in your cheap shoes trying not to touch anything because everything looks like it costs more than your monthly paycheck used to. The attorney talks fast. Trusts, taxes, privacy agreements, asset protection. You understand maybe half of it. What you do understand is this. If people find out you won, your old life is over. So a trust is created. Paperwork is signed. Meetings happen. People in suits suddenly care about your future more than anyone ever has before. And then comes the hardest part, taxes. The jackpot was never really $390 million after the lump sum payout, after federal taxes, after state taxes, after legal fees. The number shrinks violently. Now it's around $110 million. A week ago, losing millions would have sounded insane. Now you feel robbed. That's how quickly money changes perspective. Level 3, the target. At first, you tell only your mother, then your brother, then your best friend. You make all of them promise not to tell anyone. That promise survives for about 11 hours. Suddenly your phone won't stop vibrating. Old classmates, distant cousins, people you forgot existed. Everyone sounds weirdly happy for you. But underneath every conversation is another sentence they're too polite to say immediately. Can I have some? Some ask directly. Others circle around it. A friend says he has an amazing business idea. An uncle suddenly remembers a medical emergency. An ex texts you after 6 years. Hey stranger. You stop answering unknown numbers, then you stop answering known ones too. Because every conversation feels expensive now. You walk into your favorite cafe and the owner suddenly treats you differently, nicer, careful, like you transformed from a person into an opportunity. That's the thing nobody tells you about sudden wealth. The money doesn't just change your bank account, it changes the way people look at you, and eventually, it changes the way you look at people. Level 4, the buyer. The first purchase feels magical. You buy the car you used to watch on YouTube reviews at 1 a.m. Leather seats, panoramic roof. The engine sounds like power itself. For 3 days, you're obsessed with it. Then it becomes normal. So you buy something else. A penthouse apartment, designer clothes, luxury watches, first-class flights, restaurants where nobody asks the price because everyone there already knows they can afford it. At first, spending feels like freedom. You spent years saying, I can't afford that. Now you finally can. So why stop? But money has a dangerous side effect. It makes excess feel normal. Soon your lifestyle expands faster than your happiness. A $4,000 dinner becomes not a big deal. A $20,000 weekend trip becomes spontaneous. You start spending in ways your old self would have considered insane. Not because you're greedy, because humans adapt frighteningly fast. Luxury stops feeling luxurious the moment it becomes routine. And once your brain upgrades its definition of normal, going backward feels painful. Level 5. The investor. Wealth managers enter your life next. People whose entire job is understanding money. They show you charts proving your wealth could last forever if you're careful. They say words like compound growth and risk exposure. You listen carefully. For about 2 months, then real life starts interfering. A friend pitches a nightclub. A cousin wants funding for a clothing brand. Someone at a party tells you about crypto opportunities. You invest emotionally instead of intelligently because saying yes feels powerful. You enjoy being the person who changes lives until those lives start collapsing. The nightclub fails. The clothing brand disappears. The crypto founder vanishes with half the investment. Millions disappear faster than you thought possible. And the worst part, you can't even fully blame them. Because deep down, you knew you didn't understand what you were doing. You confused having money with understanding money. Those are not the same thing. Not even close. Level 6. The isolation. 2 years later, your house is enormous and quiet. Too quiet. You have security cameras, a gated driveway, black cars with tinted windows, but somehow you've never felt less safe. You wonder if people actually like you or just like access to you. Dating becomes suspicious, friendships become negotiations. Even family feels complicated now. One night, you're sitting alone in your massive living room, staring at city lights through floor-to-ceiling windows. And suddenly, you miss your old apartment. Not because it was better, because life felt real there. Back then, people talked to you normally. Back then, nobody expected anything from you. Back then, happiness was small but understandable. Now everything feels artificial, purchased, managed, controlled. You realize something terrifying. Money solved your survival problems, but exposed every emotional problem underneath them. Level 7. The reckoning. 5 years after winning, you meet your financial advisor again. The energy in the room feels different this time. Less confident, more careful. He slides a paper across the table. Your fortune has dropped dramatically. Bad investments, lifestyle inflation, taxes, maintenance, lawsuits, generosity, impulse. Slowly, silently, your empire has been bleeding money for years, and you barely noticed. Because huge numbers create the illusion of infinity. But infinity was never sitting in your account. Just a countdown with extra zeros. You drive home in silence that night. You park in front of the giant house you once dreamed about owning. And for the first time, it doesn't feel impressive, it feels heavy. Like a monument built by a version of you who thought money would finally make him feel complete. But money can buy comfort, freedom, privacy, luxury. What it cannot buy is peace with yourself. Because no matter how rich you become, you still wake up as you. And if you never learned how to be happy before the money won't teach you. It'll only distract you long enough to forget the question. Until one day, the silence comes back. And this time, it's louder than ever.